A well-behaved woman is trim and proper. Chores always done. Not a hair out of place. When the husband comes home, she greets him with a smile.
I'm sorry, what the fuck?
Are you tired of Hitler?
Have you no shame?
Okay, one liar as a kid can find another liar.
I want that stricken from the record.
How else is she gonna learn if she doesn't have a setup?
I can fall fuck in the big house.
You're a mess, girl. I am here to audition for Babysitters Club extras. I brought my own hammer.
And welcome back to another episode of Well-Behaved Women. I'm Lauren Schill, your host, and I am joined by Zombie Hannah Moses.
Yes, I always forget when I introduce myself I'm a zombie. I'm always like, and I'm Hannah.
Zombie Hannah Frog Thumbs.
I know I'm a zombie, and I look like a zombie, and I walk and talk like a zombie, but inside, I'm a zombie with feelings. Okay.
Goodness.
Well, we are back with another episode. We are going to be talking about another woman from history, as we do every week, and Lauren has all the details.
The deets.
The deets. We love deets.
Oh, there's not a lot for this. Okay. Well.
We'll have to wing it.
Just everything about, so I'm trying to do that on this year in history, and everything about this year gives away the story.
Excellent. On this year in history.
Woof. All right, let's see. The Hafsid Saracens attempt to capture Malta, but are repelled by its defenders.
That did not give it away for me. Intriguing. The what now, Saracens?
The Hafsid.
I have no idea who they are.
Literally everything else gives away the year.
That's okay.
So tell me when. Oh, hold on.
Test my knowledge.
Fire destroys Turku.
Turku. Is that Turkey?
Mm.
The whole country was on
check.
Fire? I feel like I would.
No, it is a city in southwest Finland.
Oh, it's in Finland. Definitely not Turkey. Okay, so there's a fire. All right, now give it away.
And then a series of 7 customs offices and barriers are installed along the Grand Canal of China during the reign of the Ming Dynasty's Yongle Emperor.
All right, I don't know where you thought any of these facts would give it away for me.
I'm going to say that again. Yongle Emperor, not Yongle.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's too close to Mongol. They're going to be mad.
That was the most white pronunciation ever.
That's all right.
Ever.
We're made of mayonnaise. It's fine.
Yongle Emperor. That's what I meant.
Yeah, none of that gives it away for me.
All
so
right.
This is going to be a very wild guess.
Okay.
I have to remember the last time China had a dynasty of any kind like that before they went communist. Alex, I'm going to go... Alex, sorry, not Alex Trebek. It's Alec Trebek. I'm going to go with what is 1245.
1245.
Just pulling it out of my ass, Alec.
You're way under, but yeah. No, we are sitting at 1429.
I'm closer than I thought. I thought I'd be like 1,000 years off.
Nah.
It was either going to be last year or like right around the time of written history.
But this is the year of our person.
Our heroine.
Yes.
Or villainess.
This is her year. Everything
year.
in the Wikipedia, everything is about her.
Oh,
and what
shit.
she did.
Okay. Let me try to think. I'm thinking, wheels turning, 14-something. Who is a big name in the 14?
Do you not remember who we talked about last week?
Oh my God, how did I already forget? Lots happened.
Oh my God.
Look, all right. I had things going on and my brain I was rushing this morning. Is she rushing? No.
All right. I
Just
am going
remind
to say,
me.
all right.
You're
How about we do a previously on?
Previously on Well-Behaved Women.
Previously on Well-Behaved Women.
That's better. Do that.
Let's see.
I'm so sorry, girl. I really am. I am just racking my brain like it's not Empress Sisi. I just watched something about Cleopatra, so that's all in my head. We have to do one about Cleopatra.
All right. Previously on Well-Behaved Women. The 100 Years' War
Oh my God.
lasted for 116 years.
100 plus 6 and 3 distinct.
Over 3 distinct periods.
I was going to say parts. I'm glad you said periods because that's what it is.
Yeah. So we are in the third period of the 100 Years' War, which was 116
I
years.
don't know why I forgot we didn't do the second part yet.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And we are dealing with a couple different claimants to the French throne. We've got the English claimant, King Henry, who is a recent fatherless King Henry because his father, King Henry, died.
Yeah.
So he's a little
R.I.P.
child. And so the basically throneless King Henry, or throne of the King of England, is sat by a child and his kind of council of peoples,
Right.
versus a disowned Prince Charles,
Whose daddy was cray cray.
whose daddy was also cray-cray, and was also Prince Charles.
Yes.
Yes. And who
Charles
disowned
the
him
Mad.
right before he died.
Charles the Young.
Yes. All right. So pretty much all of France north of the Loire Valley, or the Loire River, is controlled by the English.
Okay.
Reims is in that northern part, and that's where Charles needs to go to get crowned. Jeanne and the army of Armagnacs won the siege of Orleans.
Good for her.
They returned to Chinon, hail the conquering heroes, and it was then that Jeanne kind of made the moment about herself instead
Damn
of the
right.
army of people who took the city.
Well, she gave them morale.
It was about her, yeah.
She's the heart of the operation, ma'am.
She was sent on a mission by God. She's
was
a
by
blues
God.
sister, yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
God's little pawn, and we love it.
So this upcoming episode is going to be a battle-heavy episode. That was
Okay.
just the beginning of Jeanne's career.
All right.
So a lot of fighting.
She's getting cocky then.
Well, just trigger warnings if for anybody that needs that. Whatever. Trigger warning. If you're not comfortable with battle, this is not going to be a good episode.
Yeah,
for
there's
you.
probably going to be mentions of, blood, wounds,
Death.
is probably some...
A lot of fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. So be warned and skip ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, when people asked how she knew that she was sent by God,
Just got to tell everybody again.
what exactly makes you think that you're qualified for this kind of a position?
All right, here I am. I was standing in a field. I was 15 years old. I saw some people who had halos on their heads. They said that I was destined by God to do something incredible. And I already knew who the king was. I picked Charles out of a lineup, never having seen his face. I mean, what more proof do you need? I saved this battle. I gave you guys spirit and cheers.
But what makes you think that God said all of that?
Let me start over. So I was 15. I was in a field. I saw people who were technically not there.
She basically said, so you remember how the Dauphin had me tested way back when I showed up.
Line up.
I told them then that the sign would come in Orleans, right? So I'd say winning the siege in a matter of 4 days with the Armagnacs. That's a pretty clear sign,
Fucking
no?
Kobe.
I
mean, come on.
Swoosh.
And win.
Even theologians and clergy wrote in support of this heavenly claim of hers.
I've got references.
Literally, I've got theological references here.
What else do you want? Peasant. I'm kidding. I don't think she would have been
Fucking
that.
peasants.
She wouldn't be that.
No, she was a peasant.
I know, exactly. She'd be like, bro. But not bro.
But not everyone thought she was sent of God. So the English, none of them were too happy about this weird little peasant girl.
Well, because she's not on their side.
No. They were like, who the fuck is she and why is she the one that's now telling us to get out? Like, where did she come from?
Girl, let me see those references.
Well, she was this little nobody. She came in late in the game for a very long war.
Girl, you just walked on set.
Literally, she walked on set with no invitation, and she seemingly just acted as this talisman that led the French to victory. So only the devil could have obviously done such a thing. So now that they'd had their asses whooped, that was definitely the work of the devil. She must be possessed.
So they're just like, well, because we lost to a girl,
She must be murdered.
she must be backed by the devil. That's the only way they could have lost?
The devil has her.
It's not all the people who fought for their fucking lives out there. No, it's her.
No, the devil has her.
The devil has
The devil has taken her spirits, and we must murder her.
He's given her
Yes.
a bewitched tampon, and she's now working for him.
But she was a woman of virtue, very famously so.
Devilish virtue.
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile,
back at the 100 Years' War.
plus 16 in 3 distinct periods.
Jeanne was not done, so this was just the start for her. The soldiers by this time were completely sold on Jeanne, and they were ready to follow her into the battle to the ends of Terre Française.
Girl's got charisma. All right? She's a leader.
Exactly.
Go, Jeanne. We love you. Get it, girl.
Her goal is still to get the Dauphin to a town called Reims. She insists that the Dauphin begin his journey right away, like as soon ASAP as possible.
Put that turkey leg down. We're going. Now.
Down, sir. I said down.
God says, put down the turkey leg. And the mashed potatoes. Put them down.
The gravy can come. You just need to put that
You
in a little
can travel
Tupperware.
with that.
Yeah.
I'll get you a bowl. I'll get you a little takeaway lid.
You can sip it as you go. That's
You need
fine.
a juice box.
So the goal came with a number of logistical problems, right? To get him to the throne. Orleans is now in French hands, but the bridges around Orleans were still controlled by the British. If the Dauphin wanted to become the Dauphin, thank you, he and his entourage would have to cross the Loire River to get there, and that happened at Orleans.
All right, now I'm going to pause right here because I'm going to bring up, as per usual, probably throughout majority of this podcast, I'm going to bring up a Game of Thrones reference.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Oh, I love how you're excited about it. Yay.
No, because I've seen the whole show. It infuriates me how it ended. I'm not.
I know.
I read all of the books except for the prequel thing. I read all 5 of them.
I'm only halfway through
before.
the books.
I read all of them before I actually started watching the show.
Oh, fuck.
And then I got really into the show, and I was so excited to see how it ended. And I thought they
There's
did
a
those
really great
characters
meme.
so
I know.
fucking
I know.
dirty.
There's a really great meme out there if anybody's seen it, where there's like a picture of a drawn, like somebody drew a horse and they did it in 4 separate parts.
Yep.
And like, or I guess 8 separate parts. And each
Oh
part
yes,
gets
where
worse
it's like
and worse.
season 1 to
And there's
season
a very
8.
distinct cut off at season 7 and 8 where it's a stick figure of the back end of a horse. And it is.
That's
but
Game of Thrones,
What this
yeah.
reminds me of, what Jeanne, and they're all surrounded, essentially. They have to cross this bridge, but they're being blocked, essentially, by an enemy. And that reminds me of, like...
That battle at the river.
Which one?
By the Red Wedding?
Close, yes.
Okay.
Basically, it was right before when they had to basically make a promise. They had to kind of find a way through. And in this case, they don't have a bargaining chip like, oh, I've known Lord Frey forever. But... like, he has to basically, like...
But that didn't work out well for them anyway.
No, because Frey sucks. But, I mean, this is kind of the peril they're in, where it's like, anybody they talk to in this place could be taking it to the enemy, like Frey did.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so, they got to be careful. He's got to wear a fucking disguise.
And if you're in a town that's controlled by the English, but you're French, like nobody knows if you are truly on the French side or if you are a supporter of the English rule that has, colonized you.
Yeah, and this is just a scary place to be in at any point.
Yeah. Plus, still there's bodies rotting around the
I keep
countryside.
forgetting about the bodies.
There's bodies.
That's right. If you don't remember, she had to keep reminding me last episode that there were bodies everywhere.
Because where do all these people fucking go?
Yeah.
Like, so many of them are dying.
Oh,
Anyway, so a plan formed before Charles left Chinon. They sent the Armagnac army to recapture the bridge towns and clear the way for this regal procession.
Yeah.
Sorry, regal.
Regal.
Or is it?
It's regal.
It's regal.
Your regal name.
Regal.
Yeah, from the crowning.
The regal procession.
Yes.
On June 11th.
Wait, doesn't that make them a target, though?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, the way they have to march in an army to be able to protect the king is just...
A telltale sign of,
Yeah.
there's
honestly.
a royal kid in there.
Literally. It would be so much easier to have a procession and then 2 or 3 decoy little scout teams, and in one of the decoy scout teams, that's where the king is actually being transported. But what they actually do is just, let's just go through the road.
Fuck.
There's a lot of people. Let's go.
Okay, shit.
So on June 11th, the Armagnacs and their little mascot Jeanne show up at Jargeau. So the army forces the English to retreat into the walls of the town. And Jeanne, at this town, she started simple. She just sent a message to the English. She's like, surrender.
Oh, shit. It's like, hey, guys, my name's Jeanne. I just wanted to let you know I arrived in your town, and I'm going to give you a little bit of time to surrender. So this is your warning. Bye.
No, it was more like, hey, bitches.
Oh, fuck.
It's Jeanne. You need to get out of here, and if you could just be gone by 5, that'd be great. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. Okay.
Otherwise, we're going to have to murder you.
I
and
really don't want to have
everyone
to
that you
do
know.
that.
Yeah, I don't want to have to chop your head
So
off.
much paperwork.
Exactly. So, obviously, the English were like, no.
Okay, bitch. I'm sorry.
No, we're fine.
You had delusions in a field and you're telling me to get out?
Who the fuck are you? No, we're not going to do that.
They didn't know what delusions were.
So Jeanne said, okay, cool. That's fine. All right. So we're going to attack you. We'll attack them tomorrow, guys. All right. So the next very morning, there's a day-long assault on the walls of the town. And this is Jeanne's first real experience in battle, right?
Like
she's like
stepping it up.
she's like in there with all the fighting.
All right.
She took the fucking banner again.
Woo!
In her
Capture
hand.
the flag, baby!
Right? She starts scaling this wall with a ladder and her banner.
Oh, see, now, post 2021, I've been like, that's badass. Past 2021, I think insurrection.
Literally, that's all I can keep thinking of is like, I've got my
scaling a wall, and
flag
that's
as
the
I'm
thing I
scaling
think
the
of
scaffolding. Yep. Mm-hmm.
History ruins everything.
So before, and think of that. Okay,
that
actually,
is history. That's
unfortunately,
modern
keep
history.
that in
Yeah.
that kind of idea in your brain as
Okay.
we go through this.
Interesting. Okay.
And to the end.
All right.
So she took this fucking banner. She's scaling the wall with a ladder, and she makes a little bit of progress. But then before she gets too high, a rock hits her in the head, and it split the helmet that she'd been given, like right down the middle. So obviously she fell. The French took a very few prisoners. Some of the English who surrendered were just killed anyway. And by the end of the day, Jargeau was once again in the hands of the French.
I mean, good on you, but how's Joan doing? Or Jean?
She was like slightly injured, but okay.
Not
the
even
helmet
concussed, we think.
helmet did its job. I'm sure she was fucking concussed. Come on.
Okay.
You can't take a fucking rock to the head that splits your helmet and not have a headache.
In a metal container.
Yeah, that's pretty
You got
intense.
tinnitus at the very
Oh
least.
God, yeah.
But okay, good on
God,
the helmet.
I bet her neck hurts so bad.
I think she probably had whiplash.
Right? That's crazy. Okay, so Jargeau is now in the hands of the French.
Oui, oui.
That bridge is secured. So the army moves west and they go to Meung-sur-Loire. And I am, again, going to butcher the French language.
You butcher the French language.
They arrived on June 15th. This one, they took without a lot of fuss. They took control of the town bridge. The English retreated to a castle on the north side. Some French soldiers hung behind to secure the bridge, but the rest of the army moved on to the third town, which was Beaugency.
Okay.
That was on the 16th. Now, the second town, this is the second town in like 5 days that the French have just taken from the English, right?
Okay. They're moving fast.
Yes. Not only are their high commanders' figures being killed, but the soldiers and the bowmen are being fucking humiliated by these French assholes who are so rudely surviving and thriving.
How dare they?
I fart in your general direction.
I love it. What was the other one? Is your mother?
Your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries.
That was the one. Your mother is a hamster. Just makes me laugh so much.
Do you know what those two things meant?
Not exactly.
So hamsters are known, like bunnies, to have lots of sex and lots of litters of
so your
lots of
mom's a
children.
whore.
So your mom's a whore, right? And elderberries used to be made of, like, that was what they made wine with. So your mom's a
drunk.
whore and your dad's a drunk.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes.
That's very funny.
There are a
Much
lot
funnier.
of layers to Monty Python
Oh,
that,
God. Could we
that
do a fun watch through of
Americans
that?
just never
I have
understand.
it on DVD.
Oh, fucking A.
Okay.
We can absolutely
That might
do
be on
that.
the Patreon, folks.
That would be really fun as a Patreon.
I think that would be a really great Patreon series. It's just fun movies. All right, but back to Jeanne, and they are taking of another French town in just 2 days.
Yeah. So, or 5 days.
5
so
days.
over the course of 5 days, they take Jargeau and
Montessed.
is that what it's called?
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm butchering
Jargeau,
French now.
and then Meung-sur-Loire, and then Beaugency. So they get to Beaugency like 5 days after, and they're kind of just like, all right, these are ours now.
Yeah.
So the English had retreated at this point, but they really hadn't given up. They were just kind of like, all right,
we're
we'll fall back.
re-strategizing,
So-
rerouting.
English forces from Paris arrived down at Meung, and they said, oh my, good lord. We must away to Beaugency immediately, lest we lose that bridge as well.
Oh, wow. You pulled the accent out.
Right?
We're working on them. I am the worst. You did much better than I could.
So they sent their forces along the north bank of the river to Beaugency.
You sound like you're one of the narrators from like those UK home improvement shows. That's so fun. Or like a House Hunters International or something. I would like to
Thank
do
you.
Antiques Roadshow. I'm trying to
Thank
watch
you.
a lot of Antiques Roadshow because I want to use their accents on this.
I tried to channel my inner David Attenborough.
Yeah, okay. It was giving me some of those narrator vibes.
So Jeanne, by this time, she's well past pretending that she isn't actually in charge here.
Yeah, she's like, fuck you. Look
the
what I
men
did.
know it. The other commanders know it. I know it. You know it. We all know it. So we're just, can we just, with the,
Yeah, cut with the bullshit now.
yeah, exactly. So she's still not an actual trained soldier. So
She is running on pure dreams.
literally. So an actual trained commander, John, Duke of Alençon, and a number of trained captains are basically put under their joint control.
Yeah, John, you're in control.
Well, they work really well together. Like they work in.
She's the heart, they're the brains.
Kind of. She's not a strategist, but she is like basically she gets them out there.
She's the kid with the heart ring in Captain Planet.
I think so, yeah.
Did you watch Captain Planet?
Captain Planet, he's our hero.
I forgot this.
Gonna
I
take
forgot the
pollution down
fucking
to
song.
0.
All I remember is everybody's like, haha, you have a heart. And I'm like, yeah, that's me.
No, it's love.
I know.
That's the best one.
But can't do anything with it, really, except make people care, which we know in real life it does not work.
Oh my god.
Where were we with Jeanne?
With Jeanne.
Jeanne. I keep saying Jeanne.
Jeanne, I don't know. Joan, literally, there's tons of different, like, pronunciations of her name.
Yeah.
So. All right. So she is working with John, Duke of Alençon, and a number of trained captains. They're laying siege to a fortress inside a wall, so they're not really getting too far. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the first day, a soldier, someone who had long since been disgraced on the French side at court, he shows up with like 1,000 men. He was kind of an outcast, but he shows up and he's like, here I am to help you. And they're like, we don't want none of your help
come on.
because you are a piece of shit. And
well, wait, what kind of piece of shit?
I don't remember.
Right.
It was
If it was
someone who had
something really
been disgraced. So like whatever he had done, they had been ostracized from his cohorts.
Well, I will put a pin in that and just say, if it was something really bad, I get it. But like, if it was just I used the wrong fork at dinner, which sometimes
No, it was something big apparently.
Oh,
But Jeanne, she don't give a F about nothing. So
she's not here to read the tea. She's here to spill some blood.
Literally, so she accepts the help that she's offered.
Damn right. Good on you.
And it ends up helping them massively.
Smart move.
John gets the word that English army are coming on the north side.
The English are coming.
The English are coming. The British are coming. Yes.
Wrong century, wrong continent.
But the same idea.
Yeah.
The English are coming. That's a
By
bad
land or by sea?
That's a bad
by
sign.
Sea. By sea. Sorry.
You're fine.
I'm gone a little kooky.
So John gets word that the English army are coming, and they're coming on the north side. So the relief for these people could be just around the corner. Like, if they show up while we're in the middle of these negotiations, it could be really bad for us.
Right, like we're vulnerable right now.
Yeah. So we've got to make sure that we can wrap this up. But these English, the ones that are at Beaugency, they don't know that they've got support coming. So John negotiates the surrender of those people at Beaugency, and he gets them out of the town. He spends the next couple days basically like evacuating the town.
Yeah.
And 2 days after the beginning of the siege of the city, the citizens safely exited from the town. The French and the English met again in battle.
In battle.
In battle. The English army had a few commanders. Sir John Fastolf, knowing the ass whooping that had happened in Orleans, had been sent from Paris to help. He was sent to help Lord John Talbot and Lord Thomas Scales and their armies. Fastolf was hesitant to go into battle with the French, and he was well aware of the consistent victories of the French that the French had been having since that peasant girl TM had joined the ranks.
Okay.
That's what we're calling her. Peasant girl. TM. But Talbot, he wasn't swayed. He was like, nah, we're not going to do that. So this little town called Pate is... What?
You want some pate?
It's spelled differently, but yeah, basically.
Yeah. Just make it a little giggle.
A little giggle. So Pate is a little farther up the road than the river, and the French are coming up this road. The English, basically, as they're coming down from the north, they have a chance to take them by surprise.
Right, like,
boo!
Boo!
Yeah.
Boo, bitch.
And so along this road, Talbot decides to place like 500 longbowmen. He's like, hide out in the woods and take them on the road, you know, when they're coming up. Just
right, like
shoot them right in the fucking heads.
Trees.
Yeah. They were hidden up and down the paths. And as they're setting up this brilliant plan, and they're getting
emphasis on brilliant,
brilliant plan, and getting into place, one of the longbowmen spotted a stag in a nearby field.
Don't get distracted.
He let up a hunting cry.
No.
And the stag was quickly dealt with.
Guys.
But before Talbot's men could finish preparing their move, 180 knights from the French vanguard came in out of nowhere and attacked.
That's what you get. Did they send in the stag?
No, it was just there, and it gave away their position.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yep. The vanguard had heard that hunting call, and that had obviously given the position away. So they quickly were able to like get ahead of the troops and kind of get around them for that sneak attack. And since it caught them so off guard, it wasn't really long before the troops were overwhelmed, even though they were out, even though the French were outnumbered.
Yeah.
They couldn't form a defense.
Yeah, they
exactly.
could not. They were all probably separated, I assume.
Yeah. You got to keep them separated.
Saffron?
I don't remember. I want to say offspring.
No idea. What?
The overwhelming of the initial force of the longbowmen opened up holes in their defense for the rest of the units who were all spread out and defenseless, right?
Pick them off, one by one, bitch.
So the French decided to send word back to the troops who hadn't led the attack. They were hanging out. And then since the ambush had been a success, the battle was well underway with the English already on their back foot. And the French could have waited, maybe, for more troops to arrive to back them up.
But why wait?
Yeah. Yeah, the captains were already hanging out. They already had their people, so they were like, we're just going to go in. We
got the bows. I mean, it'd be a waste.
So the knights pushed forward. They hit the English at their exposed flanks, basically the sides of the battle lines, right? Mm-hmm. On the other side, over a ridge they came from the south, a unit of 1,300 men behind the battle line of the English.
Interesting. I wonder how they got word. I guess they would send messengers from one troop to the next troop.
They just worked around them. So, like, there was lots of land. It was one road up, but basically they were able to kind of get around. So then they had people basically able to come in from the north. So you're on this kind of country lane, and that's where the English think they're going to take the French. But then on this side, they've got people, and then on this side, they're getting attacked. So now they're surprised from here.
Yeah.
And then they're now facing a big assault from here on
They're
3 sides.
They're getting surprised on a bunch of different sides.
And then just when they think that they are going to have any sort of success on this side, from the north, again, from like behind them come a new assault of French people.
Right.
Yeah, so they just fucking decimated them. Fastolf, one of the commanders, he had been reluctant about an attack in the first place. He tried to get his men to run into the battlefield. Take up arms with the soldiers. The soldiers then started to flee. Oh. And Fastolf's men followed suit very quickly after.
No. You're not going anywhere.
Don't you abandon ship. No. The defense fell apart fairly quickly after that.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we're not going to do this. The commanders who had been on the ground with their men were taken prisoner, but most of the commanders were killed. Mm-hmm. In fact, of 5,000 English men, it's estimated up to half of them were killed in this one battle.
Oh, that's rough.
Fastolf was on a horse and was able to get away with his life and very few of his men. Just a small little contingent of soldiers. John and Jeanne had John himself, because Jeanne hadn't actually been in the battle, but that was what her other half kind of was doing. So he had lost about 100 men, but he kept all of the senior commanders in the army during the battle.
He threw the strategic pawns at it.
Basically, yes.
Ouch.
And all of this happened.
Bad day to be a pawn.
Bad day to be a pawn.
Oh my God.
Both on the English and the French side.
Yeah, no, and nobody pawn level is winning.
No. Mm-mm. No. And when soldiers come home from battle and they actually were on the battle lines, they've been the one used as pawns for centuries.
The senior officers are not losing limbs over this.
Anyway, it was a traumatic fucking day.
Depressing.
This all happened on one day.
Yeah, this is a lot.
June 18th, one day, 2,500 men. Jeanne had stayed behind near the river because it was still being secured by the French team, and she got to the battlefield like ready to go.
It was done.
But it was done.
No, guys, am I late? Oh, good job! Look at that.
Look at all these bodies.
I would have been here. Yeah, throw them on the other ones.
But I was at the river.
Yeah, I had to hold it. I had to really hold it. Got my hands in there. Held it.
It's real muddy.
Yeah. Did you say muddy or bloody? Because I don't know which one's which at this point.
I think the rivers probably ran red with blood many a time during that 100 Years' War. So
Plus 16 in 3 distinct segments.
There you go. You're getting it now. You're getting it.
Yeah, I know. It's just getting to the point where I'm like, now I can't hear 100 Years' War without saying it. You did this to me.
So the river is now secure. We've got our entry points, right? So what's next?
Keep going.
We get the king to Reims.
Yeah, we keep going.
Reims? R-E-I-M-S?
Reims? I have no idea. We're not French speakers.
I already said, I'm sorry.
We're just so pathetically American in this way.
Je suis désolé.
Oh, I forgot that is how you say I'm sorry.
Their journey there was met with only a little bit of resistance. The team took off at the end of June, and the Burgundians tried to stop them, but about 3 days of negotiations basically was all it took for the town of Auxerre to fall to the French.
All right.
Troyes was the next town to try and stop them. the regal procession.
They're really having a good run right now.
They are. They really are. And their spirits are fortified. They're getting their king to the town so that he can have his crown and have a nice little fighting chance.
Let me just tell everyone out there, don't you ever say a mascot's not part of the team.
They're fucking part of the team.
That is part of the team.
One of the things that like people didn't really think about in the Revolutionary War was the drummers that the drummers that were out there, but they literally were there to just kind of like
keep the beat going.
Well, for the marches,
sort of, for the marches,
but also like just hype the soldiers.
They're playing Eye of the Tiger out there to save lives. Yes?
Oh my god. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of like bayonets and shit, like you're stabbing people.
Eye of the tiger is the thrill of the fight.
I want my mother.
You're like, John, no! Not my eye!
My leg!
Eye of the tiger. Ouch. That's gonna hurt. Okay.
Oh my god. That's not traumatic at all.
No. To have a soundtrack to your death, I don't know how I'd feel about that. It would get me into the mood, you know?
So Troyes was a little town that had a garrison of English troops, and they kept them from passing, right? They're like, no, none shall pass.
Stop in the name of Henry.
Before we kill all your troops.
Yeah, exactly.
The group tried to negotiate for about 4 days. All to no avail. Nothing happened.
Handing over 50s.
They're like,
what about this?
How about this much?
Oh, 350.
350.
I mean, about 350.
At this point, Jeanne gets tired. She's like, all right, let's just fill the moat, right? There's a moat around the castle. Yeah. We'll fill it up, and then we'll just climb over the wall.
We'll fill it with their blood.
Right. So we'll fill it up with wood, and then we'll put the artillery forces right there, and we can ensure damage.
I thought she wanted to put water in it. I'm like...
No, she wanted to put wood into the water to make more ground so that she could put her forces right there.
Man, she's creative.
She's really creative. So Troyes, seeing the new plan take take shape and fearing an attack, obviously, they're like, all right, hold on. Let's just talk. Let's just talk things through. We don't really need to, let's not get extreme here.
You know how many trees we have to cut down?
Let's not go crazy. We can talk. So they negotiate a surrender.
Dirt.
And they go on with their procession. So they finally get to Reims on July 16th.
All right. So it's been about a month on the road.
It has been about a month like almost half a month, probably.
Oh, really?
A little more,
Only
a little over
weeks?
half a month.
Oh, I thought one of the start was like June 15th.
Something around there. It's
Whatever.
Between like 3 and 4 weeks. It's something crazy. Everyone's been a long time on the road.
Yeah.
Is what we're saying.
Yeah. It smells.
Charles and Jeanne get in that evening, and then the next morning he's crowned.
Excellent.
Basically, like,
she did her
job. We're here. Let's do it. We're done.
We are not wasting one more fucking
They
moment.
were not fucking around.
Mm-mm. She's like warming up the crown, like, come on, let's go. God wants this done yesterday.
Yes. Literally. It was so, like, it was very much like, we've got to get this done.
Yeah, or else God won't leave me alone.
When the ceremony occurred, Jeanne was given a place of honor, and she announced her calling had been fulfilled.
Good for you.
She was like, all right, my work here is done.
What does self-actualization feel like?
Pretty fucking good, man.
Okay.
So Charles and the Duke of Burgundy, Philip the Bold, I think was his name.
No idea about
Something
French.
like that.
I only know English.
We remember the Burgundians were teaming up with King Henry.
Yeah.
And Philip is the son of
I just can't remember if it was the Bold, old.
Or the Great, or something like that.
Cold.
Anyway, whatever. Philip and the Duke of is the Duke of Burgundy. So
go Phil.
He and now King Charles, right? They work on a truce, and the truce is supposed to be just for like 15 days at least, while they work out some peace terms, right?
A ceasefire, essentially.
Exactly. So the terms of the truce were pretty simple. Now that Charles was the king, the land really should go back to
France.
The French king. The French king.
The French.
The French. Philip was supposed to work out a truce with the English about the city of Paris.
You said he was supposed to. Does that
He
mean
was supposed to work out a truce about the city of Paris going to Charles and the Armagnacs, right?
Oh.
And since the reigning King Henry had died and his son wasn't of age, they might be a little more amenable, just a little bit more amenable to changes.
One would think. But here's the thing. Philip is from Burgundy.
But he promised.
Yeah,
he promised to get this done for Charles. He's like, I got you. I got you, bro.
But behind his back, was there one of those little finger crossies going on? Bitch.
Yeah.
I declare bitch.
The Duke of Burgundy went back on his words and was a little bitch and betrayed Charles.
J'accuse. You are bitch.
You are a bitch. So, yeah. At the end of the truce, basically, Jeanne's like, all right, where's this fucker? She is just ready to go to another battle. She's like, nah, we're not doing this. This goes back to the king.
Did you not hear me when I said God said?
Yes. God said so. I can't go home until the God said so shit.
And I'm fucking tired.
She is very tired at this
only
point,
imagine.
probably. So,
But I don't know. She's a teenager to her early 20s. I mean, she's a teenager.
yeah.
Yeah, so she's got all that teenage energy.
Teenage energy for sure.
She might sleep in the mornings, but she's got all the energy for pretty much the rest of the day till midnight.
So she and John want to take the Armagnac army and they want to march on Paris. They're like, we're going to take it back. And Charles's court is really super
He's like,
divided.
No, we did the marching.
Well, he's like, that might not be the best course of action. Like, let's hold off. Let's figure out what we're going to do here. This is a group still actively working towards a peace with England and a long-lasting peace.
Okay,
they're like, we're in a very particular position. He did fuck up. You are right. But maybe don't run and go destroy everything we're trying to work towards.
Wait till you see green light, but we are at red light, people.
But they still take the army. And they still go towards Paris.
Why?
But they go really slowly because of bureaucracy.
Yeah. We come in peace?
Maybe? As we get closer, we're kind of not sure, but we're...
As we get farther from the king, we start to make up our own minds.
Right. But Charles is not having this. He's fucking pissed. So the towns have all pretty much... Yeah, they...
Puts it on a carriage.
The what?
Puts a boot on the carriage and goes, you're not going anywhere. He shows up. He's like, if you guys want this boot taken off, you're going to have to pay $250 fine.
That is so much money in old French money.
Yeah, well, this is
Jesus.
the king's boot.
Damn. A king's boot.
It's got a crown.
A crown as a logo, or is it a crown as a feature of the boot?
No, he takes his crown off and he has to put it in the boot.
Is it like a locking mechanism that only the king can unlock?
He wears on his head is the key.
That's the key that unlocks it, or that's like the locking mechanism
that is the key that unlocks
clutches on.
It is the key. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm with it. I'm sorry. I wasn't sure
I went
if it
way
was
too far in the weeds again.
I wasn't really sure if the boot was the crown, or if the boot was if the crown was the logo.
Well, I said
or if the crown was the key, or if the crown was like the actual locking mechanism that opens
a bear
up and
trap?
goes click. No, it clicks around, and just that's the thing that locks, and only the king has the key to open that thing up again.
Yeah, no, the crown is the key.
Love that. Awesome.
Because the crown is the authority.
Love that.
If you listen to the crowning, you're going to learn a lot about that.
Little plug for our mini show.
The crowning. That's the accent I've adopted for the title is the crowning.
The crowning. So, the towns all pretty much give way to the very slowly molasses advancing of the Armagnacs, right?
Yeah.
So there's one moment where an English army comes and blocks the way. They're like, no, you're not doing this. And the Armagnacs kind of think they're like, we're not strong enough to actually beat the English, so we're not gonna.
Do they try to talk their way in?
Yes. Jeanne decides.
Oh, fuck.
She's like...
She's making decisions again?
Maybe we can, provoke them into attacking us.
Why?
And so she goes to the front lines and she starts taunting.
Oh, my God. Just going... with the moose antlers. I am French. I was winning battles. This is my French accent. It is not good. It's vaguely Eastern European, but mostly anglicized.
This is where we do the your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries.
That is what Jeanne said.
Yes. So she's insulting all these dudes. She's trying to get them to attack her, but the English don't fall for it. So she gives up and they all go to bed.
Yeah.
Everyone goes.
It's night time.
Yeah. And the next day, the English are like, our powers are probably more, well, like, would be more well utilized in Paris. So the English then retreat without a battle, without a conflict, without another word. They just
Jeanne
leave.
did not get what she was trying to do.
I mean, they won. They got their way
guess.
through the road,
But like,
which
what was
she
she
wanted.
trying to do?
She was trying to get to Paris with her little army, and even if the English are just kind of like, whatever, and they leave,
But I mean,
it
like,
still clears the
what
road
did
for
she
them.
hope would happen if she provoked them to attack, and they did? I don't know what she hoped to accomplish there.
Probably
never
like
know.
trying to kind of have the English come forward and basically like battle it out.
Maybe
don't know.
like get them out of formation.
Maybe, or
'Cause
like
that's how they
get
did it
them,
last
you know,
time?
just too riled up and not thinking clearly. I'm not really
the
sure.
taunting method.
The taunting method, right? So, but this one little like nothing, right? This thing that ended up being
Little
nothing.
skirmish, if that you might say.
It wasn't even a skirmish. It was an like an unrequited taunting.
Miss tauntings.
Miss Tauntings. No, that's not it.
You were on the battlefield. I called your mother a hamster, and you just walked away.
And you walked away.
I hope to see you again. I want to tell you about your father. I have more to say.
Love it.
Oh, it's
Oh my
excellent.
God.
All right, this was interesting. Okay, so she won.
So by default, and it cleared the way to Paris. That was the one little stop, and then she was gone. So on the 8th of September, 1429, the Armagnacs began their attack on Paris.
Okay.
And Jeanne
Fuck you, Paris.
rode out and she fought in the siege.
Okay, girl.
And during that battle, she got shot with a crossbow bolt.
Ouch.
It hit her right in the leg, and she
In the
had
leg?
Yeah, and she had to hide in a trench under the city walls until her fellow soldiers could come for her under the cover of night.
Fuck. I wonder how. Damn. So that could have gotten crazy infected.
Yeah, it was bad.
I don't imagine they clean under the bridges.
No. The concern that was just on your face as you shook your head, like, I do not believe they really clean under those bridges.
I just don't believe that they're cleaning under here. She gets the white glove out. Look at this.
I'm going to go ahead and need to call the Department of Health and Safety out here.
Calling Tony at the CDC.
Oh my God.
That's Gail.
The battle, though, the whole thing itself, like everything, it was all bad. In one day, the army had lost 1,500 soldiers.
Ouch.
Jeanne and John were not swayed, and the next morning they awoke, ready to attack.
Jeanne, you got
Again.
a fucking bolt in your leg.
Right, but she's patched up now and ready to go.
That's going to get so infected.
But thankfully, Charles finally got through an order, and it came to the battlefield that said, no more!
I was hoping you'd say an angel came down with Neosporin. I'm worried. Go ahead. All right, so someone said, fucking stop!
I would imagine they probably just poured wine on it and called it good.
I mean, yeah.
So Charles said no more, and Jeanne wasn't really happy about this, but they made plans to attack anyway. They're like, we're gonna do it anyway.
Jeanne, the whole point was you're supposed to be like fighting for this guy, which means he's in charge of you.
Which is what Charles knew was gonna happen. He was like, Jeanne's not gonna actually listen to me. She never listens. He predicted that. So he also sent orders to dismantle the only bridge that the army could use to get into Paris and attack it.
That's pretty smart on Charles' behalf.
Yeah, he's like, no. You're not even going to have access.
Yeah.
No.
Baby Henry would not have
If you're not going to listen to me, I'm just going to take away the only way that you have.
It's like giving them bumpers.
Yeah. It's
and then,
cute.
Yeah.
They're
it's
taking them away.
Yeah, I don't want you to score any more points right now. I'm going to take those down for a second. Good luck trying to shoot this way.
And it really forced the hands of the soldiers. The Armagnacs were basically forced to retreat by their own king, which Charles was pissed at Jeanne and John. Jeanne and John were pissed at Charles. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, they're like the eager fighters, and the guy's like, just give me fucking 10 minutes to figure out a plan.
Oh my God, they're Travis Kelce, and Charles is the coach. And they're like,
oh yeah, put me in.
Put me back
in.
the fuck in.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Yes.
Like, I should be on that field.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm gonna need to strategize, okay, baby guy? All right, baby guy. You need sit. God. Gay.
Fucking gay. Fucking gay. Anyway, so Charles manages to work out a truce, another temporary truce, right, with the Burgundians.
Give me 10 more days.
No, this one lasted a lot longer. So this was for 4 months.
Oh,
so
shit.
from September until the end of December, there was going to be peace. Peace.
Air quotes, peace.
Peace.
Air quotes.
So they return to court. Everyone's exhausted. People are pissed. But the tide had kind of turned for the heroes, right? So the faith...
who you think the hero is.
The court's faith in Jeanne had diminished considerably. There was even this idea that she might actually not have been sent by God after all.
What, because she got fucking shot
fucking
in the
crazy
leg
is
for
that?
once?
Yeah.
She got shot in the leg.
She might be mortal. She might not have been sent by God. That
Well, of
might
course she's
be. We might be
fucking
crazy.
mortal. God can send mortals to do shit. You know, she just had one bad day. Like, she had this whole streak.
Bad bitches have bad days too.
Yeah. Right? I mean, but like, okay, think about it. She had this long stretch of just like day after day, bam, success.
Battle after battle
Kobe,
after battle after
fucking
battle.
Kobe, fucking LeBron this time. And like, it's just like, and now she has one bad day. And they're like, you know, maybe she isn't sent from God. I hope God is sending her around.
You know what this is? She came in, she was new at the job, right? Mm-hmm. But in the first little while, she did really well. She exceeded expectations.
But now it's the 90-day review.
And she was really excited about it. She was being praised and told that she was doing really well, right?
Yeah.
But then that became the expectation. And now all of that eagerness, right? And all of that going above and beyond. Now that's like not enough. Now we've got to have this other shit.
100% success rate. I mean,
Right.
you know.
But now you got to give 110% because now 100% is now the standard. So
Yeah,
you got to
well-
keep giving extra.
Okay. Well, you know, maybe God loves a suspenseful drama like the rest of us. Okay. And he likes it when it's darkest before the fucking dawn. So let's see how this plays out. Okay. Old men with mustaches.
I don't know what this has been.
Me and my like.
You are doing this weird thing with your head.
I know.
It's gonna
be in stereo.
I love it. It's weird.
It's my sassy shit. All right. I have my sassy moment. And it is a lot of head bobbing. I am a cockatoo.
You. That's what I was thinking of. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
thank
I do
you.
a lot of head
All right.
bobbing.
Yeah,
in the car
it was
too.
a bird thing. Yes.
And as soon as
it was a bird thing.
As soon as music starts going, I just start. The head is the first thing to start going, and nothing else moves. So it's just like that bird.
Oh my God.
It's very annoying.
The first thing for me is the hips.
Oh no!
Like even in the car, I'm just kind of like, ooh, oh yeah.
Oh
Okay,
no,
that's
I'm
a good
head
beat.
bobbing, head motherfucking bobbing.
Nice. You're that person at the concert that
I'm
just
that
does
guy
that.
at the concert. I'm just like, and eventually I will start dancing, and the rest of me will go. But that
the rest of you will follow.
Yes, but I am head first.
Bob your head.
Yeah.
The rest will follow.
Sure. All right. Well, they're doubting her.
They're doubting
confidence
her
as being
divinity.
Divinity, yes.
They're doubting her divinity.
Yeah, they're just like, she's not really shining anymore.
Yeah, and the court's pretty much, they're like, So they give her the cold shoulder, right? So,
Ouch.
but worse, Charles is like, okay, you and John cannot work together anymore. So they has the army disbanded, and she's forbidden from working again with that guy. They were besties. They were strategic army besties.
So they're like,
and they can't work together anymore.
what? They think they're like too dangerous together now.
Yes.
At this stage.
Basically, they're like, you guys are bullies, and you'll push forward, and you will continue to not
You guys
listen
are
to the
too
king.
disruptive during class, and I need you guys to separate.
You're too disruptive to the idea of an eventual peace.
Oh, they're too bulldoggy. They're just like,
Yeah, we're trying to work this thing out, and you are not going to let that happen.
Okay, I get it, Charles. I get it, but I feel bad for them because they're besties.
Both of them were elsewhere needed. Like John went off. Both of them were needed elsewhere. I don't know why I said that backwards.
You know, it's still tracked.
But it sounded like I was doing a Charlie Kelly thing from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he's trying to be a lawyer, and he's like, many ago moons, was
watching
this
that show later
forthright?
now.
Has the ink been dried upon?
I fucking love that show.
I'm an expert in bird law.
I love that it's just like the mailroom episode is just so good.
Who is Pepe Silvio?
There is no Pepe Silvio.
Dude, he's upstairs and he's pissed.
He doesn't know where all his mail's been. Oh, great moment. All right, Charlie, let's get back to it.
Sorry, just thinking.
I know. Yeah, the meme everyone knows.
Yes. So John moves on. He goes elsewhere to other battles, and Jeanne is put in a different unit, I guess. And in October, there's another battle. So she's sent as part of the French forces to attack the territory.
Let her out of her cage.
They let her out of her cage again.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, there's this guy, and he's a traitor, right? He's a traitor to the French throne. And so they go south, and they're like, we're going to go and attack his land. So by this time, she's famous enough. They've given her a bodyguard named Jeanne.
I would love it if it was Jeanne and Sean.
D'Arc. So it's Jean. So it's her name at the time was Jeanne. So Jeanne, which I'm trying to do a good job of saying Jeanne.
I'm saying
because I think that's how you actually pronounce it. But then Jean is also but now there's a Jean, which is a guy.
Let's just say Joan.
And then John. Oh, fuck.
All right. So just to clear it up for any listeners who may be like, let's say, driving or cleaning and they're not listening super closely.
We just want to say Joan from here on out.
I think by now we can say Joan.
Okay. So Joan.
And then you could say Jean.
Joni.
Yeah. Joni.
We'll call her Joni.
Joni B. Jones. Joni B. Arc.
Joni.
Sorry.
Joni B. Arkin.
Yeah. Okay.
So Joni and Jean, right?
Okay.
So Jean is her squire, her bodyguard, her little pal, right? So they go to this place. They get to the trader's territory, and it's called Saint-Pierre-le-Moutier. Or Le Moutier.
Saint-Pierre-de-Moutier.
Saint-Pierre-le-Moutier.
Le Moutier. Oh my God, not even what you said.
So this belonged to Perrine Grissard, who was a mercenary for the other side.
Okay.
The army begins their siege of this town. This is heavily fortified, right? And it's surrounded by a moat. Again with the moats, right?
As soon as you say heavily fortified, I go right into Assassin's Creed mode where I'm like, okay, start on the outer rim, use your arrows, shoot from afar.
Where the fuck do you think they got this shit?
I know. We Valhalla is literally the same region.
Yeah.
With a king named Charles, but it's from like the 890s. So it's like fucking forever before this. But it's just very funny because I'm trying to remember the map.
There are some, what was it? I think it was like the Italian one where it was like a lot of history was actually like really accurate in it.
No, they do that with all their games. Yeah. They try to incorporate, because they
use
use
educational then? Like it's actually.
You can't call the game entirely educational because it's a lot of murder. But
is it like this where it's edutainment?
It's edutainment.
So you will learn good things.
You will learn some good things mixed with some confusing shit that has nothing to do with it. But they use, I actually realized that the side note, we're going to get back and I'm going to keep this to a 1 minute total.
They're fine.
But basically, the Templars, as we know, were a real secret society, as were the Assassins. They were not exactly diametrically opposed completely to each other like they are in the games. Like, they're not like good versus evil like that. But they took that theme of these two secret societies that had a lot of influence in history in that area. And so they do it in a lot of different areas. They started with Afghanistan kind of area or Syria. They're very different areas. But like somewhere, I want to say Syria in the first game, but the one you're talking about is games 2, 3, and 4.
I think Assassin's Creed is one of those ones that I would enjoy playing.
I have
like
all of
I
them.
would like to maybe play it on an easy mode or whatever.
You can.
Yeah.
I can get you into them.
We'll figure it out.
This is not the podcast.
The podcast is not about the Switch.
No.
Or Assassin's Creed.
No.
But I have played parts of it, and it is objectively a beautiful game, and it's really fun to play. I played with like an old roommate's account.
Excellent. Yeah, they're gorgeous.
So they go to Pernay Gressard's Saint-Pierre-le-Moutier, and their army begins the siege of the town. It's surrounded by the moat.
Okay.
And then Joni had her soldiers attack!
Attack for Joni!
That didn't really work.
Oh.
Because strongholds and all that shit.
They're strong.
So they got to retreat. Retreat! Run away!
For
Joni! And then Joni decides that she wants them to attack again.
We're going to try again!
That was basically met with the English ignoring them.
Oh.
Literally,
Come on,
the
guys.
record says, without much resistance.
You said my mom was a hamster. I said your mom was a hamster. Let me tell you about your dad. I told you. I'm here.
Well, I
Fight
think
with
it's
me.
like, I think it was like there was a moat and a stronghold, and so they were just kind of like, you're all the way over there,
They're
and
like,
I'm all the way over here,
and we're super
and you are
confident.
not getting in.
Yeah, we're super
Fuck
confident you will stay over there.
Right. So eventually another commander, he brought his forces down, and together they attacked the town again.
Okay.
And they finally won that assault on November 4th, 1429. So remember, like, her first thing happened in May, and she met the king for the first time in March.
Yeah.
This is insanely
Like 5,
quick.
6 months.
This is less than a year after she met the king, and probably within probably a year and a half since she started seeing her visions, and she is in the worst of the worst battles on the front lines for a lot of this
is
shit.
not a promotion I would have wanted.
It's fucking crazy.
I would have gone back to that field and just told the angels, I did it.
And but a win was a win. They got it. They captured it. And so for the capture of Saint-Pierre-le-Moutier, Joni and her family were given the status of nobles. So the D'Arc family is a noble family now.
Good stuff.
And so she makes her way back north to go be in court. Because that was the territory was
that's her
in the
office
south.
now.
That's it. Chinon, yeah.
Yeah.
So on her way, Charles has her run just an extra little errand for him. Just like
quick side stop.
Quick side quest, no worries.
You don't mind, Joan, right? Love you, babe.
Love you, babe. So Joni goes and she takes her army and they lay siege to a place called La Charité.
La Charité.
La Charité. Now, this place wasn't just like a little town, right? It was a fortified, and it was known for the ability to hold out through a really long siege. Like, no problem. They had their own food sources and all this shit.
Okay. They're prepared.
Self-sufficient little commune, right?
Oh, I want to call
I know.
I want a self-sufficient
Exactly. It was a cute little quaint place, right? So Joni gets there and she dictates a letter to ask for supplies so they can do like a proper sieging, right? Yeah. And this is ignored. She's sending letters to the French side, like French allies.
She'll go away.
Well, the French are like,
we don't really back her as much anymore.
A few days later, she sends another request, and then she sends a letter to another city requesting the same assistance from them.
Yeah.
And Orleans and Bourges sent soldiers and artillerymen, which Jean's army was severely lacking in.
Orleans remembers what she did.
Orleans remembers. So they siege and they siege and they siege, and after a month of this shit,
Joni, this one's long.
Yeah, and after a month of it, Joni and her army pack up their stuff and they abandon their efforts. They're like, fuck this.
Yeah, we're not getting anywhere here.
So she goes back to court at the end of December, and it's here she realizes she's been ennobled.
She realizes she's got a rank now.
Right. So since the truce Charles made with the Burgundians had been extended until Easter 1430, they had extended another 4 months, not 14, 4 months. But the court had no need for Joni, so she had to go back home.
Go home.
Go home.
You're retired. Turn in your badge.
Just come back in the spring. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. You're on leave of absence as of right now.
Now, in the meantime...
Meanwhile,
the Duke of Burgundy is slowly picking up the pieces of land that were given to him in the truce. Yes. Philip. And many of these towns with humans in them, right?
With humans in them, yeah. Towns typically do.
Exactly. So some of them weren't so quick to cede control.
Right.
To the Burgundians, right?
I imagine them like Trumpers. Or maybe like those rural people who are like, I didn't vote for you.
Basically.
Yeah. Okay,
so
take out the Trumper part.
Sometimes he just had to make them submit.
Yeah.
He was getting a little aggressive with one town called Compiègne. Compiègne.
Help us. French speakers.
Compiègne. Compiègne?
I don't know.
Whatever. I'm so sorry again. Désolé.
Yeah, we really am very, I am also sorry.
In March 1430, Charles was still observing the truce, but the Duke was laying siege to the town to take control. Now, there are conflicting stories of how Joni's next movements with her army kind of went, like where they went. And how
Rumor is.
So some say she couldn't have shown up with the army without funding by that crown, by the crown, by the King Charles, the King of France, right?
Because she did all those sieges recently.
She was, there was so many funds that were needed for her to be able to do this, right?
Okay.
Others say she acted with neither Charles's permission nor his knowledge of the expedition.
Scandal. Which is it?
All right, we're going to leave it here on this cliffhanger. Dun, dun, dun! The original raw recording for this was quite a bit longer, so I'm just going to go ahead and split it right into two and save everyone's sanity. But for now, this has been a fucking podcast. We appreciate you listening. Like and subscribe, leave reviews, whatever. We'd love to hear from you on our socials. Well Behaved Women Podcast on Instagram and TikTok and on Facebook, all that shit. So, yep, look us up, like and subscribe. Listen next week. We'll do another crown ending, and we'll see you later. Bye.